Hello everybody, how are you all today? My name is Eva, I'm the director of the Scottish Yarn Festival and also the Scottish Show Producers Showcase. The former of those events will take place again in Perth on the 9th and 10th of September. Tickets are available now from the Scottish Yarn Festival website. Today I am going to be joined by Chic Ellen, who's just popped up here. Who's better? Are you there? How many times can I say your name? I think you beat me to it and sent me an invite, and I did accept it, so fingers crossed, the connection goes well. There you are. Hello. Please excuse the blowout. We've got a lot of light coming through the window.
Yeah,
just that time of day.
It is. We've picked the right time of day, haven't we?
I think so. I think so. I don't think it matters what time of day you do any sort of live chat or anything these days. I know a lot of people used to kind of time it, but you know, everyone's lives are different. You've got different time zones all over the planet. People have got different what you call it? The word has gone. No, work obligations, family obligations, that sort of thing. So, you know, you just save it and you go back and you tune in if you're that interested anyway these days, I think.
Indeed.
And I should probably switch off the sound on my phone because I totally forgot to do that before we went live. So for people who are tuning in and maybe don't know who you are, would you like to introduce yourself?
Of course. Well, my name's Ellen. I am the creator behind Chic Ellen, which is my Instagram handle here, and I'm the dyer behind Mrs Lam Yarns. Being married to Mr. Lam, it's just sense to have a yarn brand, yarn dyeing business under that.
It is spelled totally different though. Well, not totally different.
It's without the B.
It's a letter from, yeah.
Yeah. Funny enough, the name in Chinese, when you read it in Chinese, it means a forest or two double woods put together. So, you know, I think that's why it's just the way it is, you know. And lambs and sheep tend to be out in the wild anyway, so it all coincides there.
You do. That's a lovely sort of name. I never knew that before. I mean, I've known you a long time now, but I had no idea that that's what your name meant and what the characters or kanji would be for that.
Yeah, it was very, when you look at the history of the Chinese language, and especially in the written format, it used to be very much a game of pictorial, where they would draw like pictures of things that they were describing. And because it took so long to draw, they then decided to, oh, let's do like a square here with a line here or something, and that will depict, and that just turned into a word, which makes it so difficult to learn firsthand when you're thinking, what does that represent? And if I put that together, what does it change? It alters the definition of the word altogether. But let's not digress, shall we?
I don't know. I think it's really interesting. It's the same. And so, seems to be on brand to what you're wearing as well, the green and your jade and such. So yeah.
Yeah, I am. There's forest prints on it. Yeah. And Chic Ellen is basically my Chinese name put together with my English name, and Calok being joyful, overall meaning. So yes, a joyous lamb here.
Love it. So we have been doing these little chats and asking those vendors who want to kind of come on and participate, you know, to give us 3 things that, you know, attendees don't want to miss from your stall. Now, obviously, there's a lot more than 3 items, but it puts a gentle pressure on, makes you think, gets the excitement going. So that's what we'll do today. We'll have 3 not to miss from your stall, and 1. Although I'm sure that there's probably more than 1 because rules are meant to be broken, right?
They are.
who you don't want to miss at the festival this year.
Yes. Okay, so first up is, should I call it a unofficial merchandise here?
Well, you've got official. I didn't realise you were going to do this. So you do It is kind of official,
kind of,
as in I've
but
given them
it's
to you.
yeah.
And it's a branded,
Right.
so it's not like, and I have heard that this happens to some other events that um, vendors go and just take elements, like go and take their logos or their trademarks and put them on things, and then there's no cut or anything like that.
Yeah.
That's not right.
No,
So
but I
no,
did
it's
ask.
totally different.
This is very different. I did ask Eva for these. And for those who have followed Eva for quite a while, for last few couple of months, maybe when these were released, as the patches. Let me just stand up and grab one.
I
I
could have
have
been
a
more
pile.
prepared. If I knew you were doing this, I could have grabbed them.
It's okay. I've got them on hand. So the official patch for the Scottish Yarn Festival are here. I've got some, and what I've decided to do is to put them onto a Harris tweed or tweed bag. So it's a patch bag. So you've got my logo there, you've got the Scottish Yarn Festival and the Harris Tweed label there. And because these Harris Tweeds are very limited from the mill and from the weavers itself, I can get limited amount of fabric. So if you want one of these, you've got to go because I've maybe three, I think, might be available by time. But if not,
I
pre-order. But
think we've just lost connection.
oh dear.
Okay, it's going to buffer. There we go. I think it just buffered for a minute. I think you were talking about how many of these you were going to have.
Yeah, it's going to be a very small amount, maybe three or five, depending on how much more fabric I can get in from the weavers. And the tweed itself would be different, depending on what goes against this lovely French navy blue. Um, that's one size. That's the normal sock size that I've got. And just to give you an idea of the other size that I could bring up is slightly sweater size, shawl size, and you can imagine with a Scottish yarn patch bag. And you can add all your other pin badges if you like as well onto it. So that's item
Look
number
at how
one.
vibrant that is.
It's a very vibrant red.
I love that about all the different tweeds though. So I mean, there are a lot of tweeds. I think Harris tweed's probably the most well known when it comes to Scottish, but there's Harris tweed, there's Shetland tweed, there's Iona tweed,
Yep, definitely.
there's not in Scotland, but might as well be. You've got a Lake District tweed now as well that I've
Yep,
seen recently.
yep.
And I'm pretty sure that there's others as well as those individuals like in Newborough and things that also weave their own tweeds but maybe don't commercially sell it. So I love how though you've got like all the heather tones and that sort of the blue one that's more muted and
Yeah.
then the red one just kind of like screams in your face. And I love that you've got that with Harris tweeds that they can be so wildly different depending on the weaver or on the weaver's mood or whatever wool that they've been able to get hold of at the time.
And what's more interesting is what they use for the inspiration of our colours. One particular one used sunset, like a really deep purple, a bright orange and pink kind of sunset. You think of like when you see, wow, there is one of those, and I think I missed out on that lot because everyone was grabbing meters and meters of it, and I was too slow. But anyways, yes, the tweeds are absolutely amazing. This is me diving into the Scottish heritage part of me in using more Scottish textiles with project bag making, and also maybe the cotton ones maybe more themed around Scottish stuff, your thistles, deers, or whatever that takes my fancy. But yeah, I will definitely have some project bags with me. Next thing is a self stripe that I have you with my recent trip to Hong Kong with the family, and I've not been to Hong Kong for about 8-9 years now. It's wonderful to have some family time, and really went out and took some photos of some scenery, some high risers, and everything you do when you're on a holiday, right? So I took
And the ducks.
inspiration from and the ducks. Left
And
over
the
the
ducks.
I'll need to post a picture of the big giant rubber ducks that was on the Victoria Harbour. So the ducks were there 10 years ago. It was solo. And then 10 years later, they bring back a pair. So that was very exciting and made me very, very happy to go and see them in person. Um, but yeah, and I took some photos, and there was a handful of sky risers that were painted in like pastel tones of like your reds, pinks, purples, and greens. So basically a rainbow. So I took that as an inspiration for this stripe.
Oh,
That's it there.
oh, that's
This has got four
really
colours.
bright.
Yeah, it's a lot brighter than what the photo tells, but you know what? I'm quite happy about that. So, if you want to see it's knitted up, I've gone from uh,
I
fluorescent
love
pink.
that.
It's one of those things like, oh, I like. So it's growing on me now that I've knitted so much of this sock. So it goes from a fluorescent pink to like a very standard tangerine orange to a lime green, and then you've got this soft grey blue in just in between, just to break up the brights a little bit. But it certainly works, I think. 'Cause when you look at self stripes, it's just
Yeah,
easy to
see,
say.
I would say that's very different from your normal comfort zone
Yes.
and what you normally do. And what you normally do is also gorgeous, but I was
Hmm.
not expecting that at all.
No, I think I just had a little play, and yeah, don't worry, the skyrise aren't this bright in real life, but you know, when a diarist takes their choice, it just goes boom in the dye pots. But yeah, that was fun to create. These will be on the 50-gram sock base. I will have some minis with me as well, so you can pick a contrast for your heel, toes, and cuffs if you wish, or you can buy two if you're needing more than 50 grams to make a pair of socks. But I will have one more other colorway that I've still to design based on the trip to Hong Kong, because that's where I like to draw my inspiration from sometimes. And with all those photos, my camera, it just makes you want to dye more. So that's colorway number one. I will be bringing back the Mid Autumn Festival colorway as well, which was inspired by the Mooncake Tin. So that was more like your blue, pink, red, and I think there was a teal in it as well. I can't remember, but there's a sample somewhere in this house. I'm currently in my bedroom. And the third item I have, I've had these
Okay,
last
so
year.
just I'm going to jump in there just before you do that. So it looks
Yep.
like people in the comments have got exactly the same sort of reaction as I did to the vibrancy of those colours. So yeah, I think you're definitely onto a winner there.
Yeah, it's very different from what I usually do. So yeah, it'll jump out at you when you come to my stall, I think. And again, going back to the trip in Hong Kong, there's a small district that's called Choi Hung, and what that means is a rainbow. So when you go inside the MTR station, there's a pillar that's got a rainbow stripe painted on it because it's basically a rainbow. And so I went and did some Cupro floss in
Oh,
a range of rainbows. These are the Cupro floss, which are made of recycled cotton, the cotton that's waste from producing commercial fabric and other things. But they've created these floss for any stitchers. Could be for your cross stitching, embroidery, visible mending, and then you need stitching on, hand sewing. You've got some of these, and yeah, there'll be other color palettes too with me, but I thought the rainbow ones would definitely pop in with all the other things that I've created so
yeah.
far. Yeah.
Friendship bracelets as well. I've seen some people starting to get back into doing all the different sort of knotting and weaving techniques for friendship bracelets. So I'm pretty sure that they would work for those too.
Yep, they would indeed. Because cotton itself is quite a strong fibre, it would hold up to quite a lot of wear and tear generally. So yeah, I'm quite excited about these little packets. So that's my three for that's not to miss at my stall this year. Working very hard with other things as well behind the scenes. I shall keep those a secret. If you're coming to the Scottish Yarn Festival in September, you'll see it all there.
Yeah, I love how your three things are so completely different from one another as well.
Yeah,
You know, just diversifications. So I've kind of watched you go from coming as a festival goer,
yeah.
and then I think the second year you came and you bought a spinning wheel. And did you develop your business after that? Did the business come later? Or was the business before
Um,
spinning wheel? I can't quite remember, but I
when I
do
came,
love just watching how your business has evolved and it's diversifying and everything.
yeah, I think it was 2017 that I came as a visitor, and that's when I bought my spinning wheel. Um, Prior to attending, but with Bloom was there as a vendor, so I thought, can I just pick it up from there instead of you shipping? And I remember walking past Eva with my with my spinning wheel in my hand, going, "Bye." But yeah, and then it was the business after that because I just felt, yeah, this is where I want to be. Um, for myself to have a creative outlet from looking after the parents and helping them run their Chinese takeaway here. And it's a very full on life, actually. Even just doing those two things and general admin of the house, this helps me to focus on a few things. It just gives me that little bit more of excitement that I can be doing what I love as well as looking after parents and the takeaway. Just you having a creative outlet just helps that mental health a little bit more and keeps me like more, yeah, this is what more positive, I think, is a good thing, and not just be, oh, what's going wrong now, what do I need to do, and I've got that to just switch my mind off the daily things at times, which is great. And diversifying in all these products was just made sense from doing all the crafts that I do myself. So yeah. Um, and the last question is who not to miss, who I do not want to miss at the
Yes.
festival. Um, Now let's break the rules. I want to see all my friends. So um, the one person that I really want to go and see is by so Hooked by Design, where they have their punch needle kits or like homeware stuff. Um, that's very different to everybody else, and I think that'll be eye-catching and certainly a heirloom piece to have in the house in the future. So if I have the kit sitting, it might motivate me to have it for a future place of my own or just in the bedroom to enjoy. Sealy McWillie Exporium, definitely a place to be. I am trying very hard not to get a loom to weave my own because that'll be really diversifying the business even more, I think. Um, and what's this? Victoria saying, oh, another craft to add to Ellen's list. No, let's not add that because the looms do take space.
You're
Um,
going home with a loom. You know you're going home with a loom. We all know this.
Whether it be a smaller or a larger one, we don't know. But yeah, that'd be very exciting. I'm also happy to see Your Unique Caroline to be back as well. She was lovely to see last year. And one other new business is, is it Boutique Digley?
Yes.
Yes, very excited to see some of their stuff in person as well. So that's my top three of my products and top three people not to miss at the festival. Where you may see me at one place more than I should be at
I
walking
can see you having
around.
to chain you to your stall and going, no, you stay here. Well, you'll get your loom.
No, I don't need to change me this year. I have a booth buddy this year, so I can freely roam for a little bit longer. Um, Dora says you have one. Maybe I should bring it up for you to try. Thanks, Dory. But I think that's if you have space in the car to bring one with you and we can play with it for a little bit. But more, have I got any more exciting news? Not yet. Working very hard on all the stuff for September time. And how many days is it? 57?
47. 47 this morning. I actually looked it up for the first time. I thought it's getting closer. And I used to have a sheep counter on the website, sheep's left until the festival, and I just kind of got rid of it because sometimes that can be a little bit stressful, being
Yeah,
reminded how much work there still is to do within a certain amount of time and such. But
there is.
yeah, I did look it up this morning because I thought, we're fairly getting through July now, and
We are.
August always feels very much like the home straight.
Hmm.
So how many days have we got? It's like, yeah, 47 days to go,
Yes,
which means I'll see you all in 46 because we're setting up the day before.
we are indeed. Um, that's very exciting. 40, 40 odd days to create all the things to fill a stall. Um, I'm very excited about it, and hopefully we'll have a lot of self-stripe with me. So I'll be working very hard. If you see me very quiet for the next wee while, you know why.
You always work really hard though, and
Yeah.
even thinking about that, that I think the first you came to, I think you missed the first festival in 2016 when we were just starting. We were really small, but you came in 2017, and when you applied from 2018, you've been part of everything.
Yeah,
I think
yeah, I have.
then.
I don't think I've missed out on to anything particular. Um, so I've been part of the Scottish Wool Producers Showcases with the project bags for the past
Mhm.
two. I've done the virtual and the hybrid events as well. So yeah, I've been a firm.
Yeah, so you've been a huge part of our journey, and it's always a delight to welcome you back with whatever it is that we're doing. You always just kind of like seem to fit in, and there's elements of your business that just kind of work and gel with us. And yeah, I'm loving seeing where you're going next. I will
Yes,
not stop you from buying that loom
no,
because you know you want one.
you never know. If I buy my own loom, I'll weave my own fabric and make my own project bags.
I know, and I think that's fabulous. How do you make your product even more unique? It's like you're involved in every single
Yeah,
part of it.
that's
Yeah,
a major life goal, maybe to get a farm and to have a few sheets of my own.
it could
But
happen.
it could happen. You never know. You never know what this whole crafty business can lead you to. Um, but let's stay focused on this event first.
This event just now, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. So, Ellen, thank you very much for taking time and joining me today and for showing us all those things.
yeah,
And I love seeing the project bags as well. So I knew that you were working on them. I had no idea that you were actually going to show one on camera.
yeah.
Everyone who's joined in, who's been watching the live, thank you. If you're just tuning in now or a wee bit later on, don't worry. I will go and save this to our grid, or I mean, Instagram's just had a change of things again. So once it runs over a certain level or a certain time, you can't share it to your stories anymore, and you can't share it to Instagram television. And a series that you've created, it converts automatically into a reel or something. But it will be saved to our grid, so you can go back and watch
Wonderful.
again. And it doesn't matter so much if you're watching it here, but we'll also upload this to our YouTube channel. So if you aren't on the socials or you prefer to stick something on YouTube and minimize the screen while you're doing something else, you can absolutely do that. If you cannot wait until the festival or you can't attend in person, you do sometimes do shop updates.
I
You
do
are
have.
you are contactable for items, aren't you, Ellen?
I am, yes. You
Yeah.
can contact me through Instagram or by email or send me a message through the website. Um, yeah, and I will
Yeah.
respond as quick as I can.
So if you're doing something like that, please do leave just like a little note in that message saying where you found Ellen or what spurred you to make that purchase at this time. If it's been through, our vendor profiles on our social media or the WeChat here or whatever, because we know from our experience of doing events and things, not all sales come from the event. They come in from all sorts of streams that are connected to, and it just helps all of us kind of, trace where they're coming from. It doesn't cost you any more. It just costs, a couple of moments of your time to do that, and it is very much appreciated. So let's wrap up for now because
Yeah,
you've got plenty of preparation to be getting on with.
I do.
It's 47 days left, Ellen.
45 more like in the packing and getting down. But
Def-
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah,
And I am going to get back to behind the scenes festival admin, of which it's a Monday, so there's an awful lot to do
yes.
because I have the audacity to try and take some of the weekend off to try and rest and recharge. But thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Ellen, and I'll see you
Thank you
all
very
again
much.
soon.
All right.
Bye bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.